cold. You've been sitting in your basement for 4 years looking for a reason. I am not the reason why you wasn't on the show. I'm not about to stop my job because you didn't keep your mouth closed. I did not do anything. If anything, I tried to keep you on the show, but nobody else was there with you. I think she feels like you didn't have her back. I did.
I didn't think it was gonna be that though. Well, they brought it last episode when they mentioned her being jealous of, not jealous, but blaming Malaysia for not being on Basketball Wives.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, now we got the reason why. And I'm definitely team Malaysia all the way.
Me too. So for me, when I watched that season where there was issues between Brandi and Shawnee, that's how I had started, where she felt Shawnee was controlling the team, Shawnee was a bitch, and everything else. Throughout the season, any beef that Brandi had, Malaysia jumped in. Any beef Malaysia had, Brandi jumped in. You couldn't talk to one without both of them jumping in. So when the incident started occurring with Shawnee, whether it be like in a group setting, Malaysia really didn't jump in. She really didn't voice her opinion or had Brandi's back. At that particular time when I was watching, I'm like, damn, why is she not sticking up with her homegirl? But she'll do it every other time.
So wait, you speaking of, so you remember those episodes ago, or are you speaking of now? Like you do remember
when they were friends. When they were friends, they were like you couldn't do nothing. I don't know if you used to watch back then when that was one of the great.
I did, but I never really focused on their friendship. But you're right. Like I did watch it, but I never focused on how their friendship.
Yeah, remember the time when Malaysia rolled up in her Jeep in front of a party, ready to confront them because.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Text her like, "Oh, this is happening at the party." She's like, "Well, I'm not gonna let my friend be by herself." Blah blah blah. So they were really had each other's backs, and I actually really liked their friendship. Like, damn, this is. You don't really see that on reality TV. They start as friends, and then after a while, they're not friends anymore. Like the case that it's currently happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to always be like, well, damn, Malaysia's not really having Brandi's back when it comes to dealing with Shawnee. So the last episode that season when Shawnee said, "Oh, thank you for your services."
Yeah. You are that bitch. You are a bitch. Thank you for your services. Thank you.
Yes, basically dismissing her, terminating her.
You're fired. Brandi got up and left. Malaysia stayed at the table. That was the end of that episode. Then after that, you would never see Brandi again. In the next season, you kind of hear Malaysia mention Brandi, but Brandi was not on the show. And then now Brandi's back. So this is how I view it. And I'm putting myself in Malaysia's situation. I'm not really putting myself in Brandi's situation.
Mm-hmm.
I just focus on Malaysia and then we can focus on Brandi. Malaysia, I'm thinking if I was friends with Brandi, one, Malaysia's a single mother. She's with the father from what she's telling the world. He's a deadbeat dad. He doesn't help her financially.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am, and this is me putting myself in Malaysia's point. Here I am on a job, because that's what they are on. I'm getting paid good money. I'm building my Instagram following. I could start businesses. This is a great platform.
Mm-hmm.
I have a best friend who at the time is married, one child, and who has a husband who could help her out financially.
Exactly.
When it comes to money, jobs, my future, I'm not gonna get myself fired with you.
Exactly.
Crazy to our boss and get your ass fired. That is on you. But I need to sustain my check. Because once we both lose our job, you're still gonna have your husband. Your husband's still gonna be taking care of your son. I will still be that single mother struggle with no job.
I'm not about to stop my job because you didn't keep your mouth closed.
And that's what I'm exactly. That's exactly, you summed up how I feel. Like, exactly.
So obviously didn't have a discussion. Now, for Brandy's part, you're thinking we a do or die duo. If somebody step to me, I'm la la la. You're doing the same. We got each other's back. Now she's thinking Brandy, oh, because it's Shawnee now, you can't stand up for me. You don't have my back. Because they kind of showed a scene when Brandy and Shawnee was going at it. And I think either Shawnee said something like, well, Malaysia, you was there. You don't have something like kind of wanting Malaysia to speak up, and Malaysia didn't. She was like sipping her thing like.
Yeah, I saw that part.
So Brandy at that particular time, Malaysia was thinking, I ain't losing my job over this bitch. But again, Brandy and her head was like, this is where you should have stuck up for me. So I understand maybe Malaysia could have stuck up for her in a way where she couldn't get fired. But I think based on how Malaysia, she probably was telling Brandy, like, yo, chill, let's just let it go and let it be. But Brandy wanted to be like, look, Brandy's personality at that time, she wanted to kind of set her ground. Like, you're not going to disrespect to me and talk to me crazy. Just because you're the boss that runs stuff, don't mean you're going to talk to me crazy. So I get it. Shawnee at a point felt like I'm the queen bee. I could do whatever. I could say whatever. And it's her show. And Brandy was like, no, I'm not going to let you disrespect me just because you're Shawnee O'Neal. But if you're doing that, you can't always expect your friend to have your back in a case like that when it comes to money.
That's what I'm saying, especially if you got a big mouth. Like, you on your own, like, when you want to, like, go off at the mouth, like, and I'm more reserved and I know my place in certain situations, I'm going to let you handle what you got to handle. And I don't think I'm going to, like, partake in that.
Correct. So I am Team Malaysia. If that's what Brandy's upset about, she's dead wrong. Because you can, and especially Malaysia's situation. It's not like Malaysia got a whole bunch of money. Now, if Malaysia had a whole lot of money and she didn't need this show, then it'll be like, really? You don't even need this show and you don't even have my back? Like, you have all the money in the world.
Exactly.
You don't need That's different. She's not a Lisa Vanderpump. So she needs to keep a check.
Yeah.
So you're mad because your friend stayed on the show to continue feeding her children because you decided to stand up to the boss and get your ass fired.
Exactly. And you're back on the show. You should be glad you're getting a check now. So relax. And I just feel like she keeps trying to get Malaysia's attention. Like, I don't like somebody. That's why when I cut things off with people that I don't like I cut it off. Like, I don't want you to know what's going on in my life. I don't need to know what's going on in your life. Let's just cut it like cold. I don't like somebody trying to get my attention and vying for my attention. Like, I just feel like Brandy keeps trying to get her attention. I know they got to work together, but we can still act like each other doesn't exist. Like, stop trying to get negative attention from me. I don't like that at all. Like, that's what Brandy's doing.
I honestly think that Brandy misses the friendship she had with Malaysia. Deep down, she kind of knows she's wrong. She doesn't know how to get back that friendship. So whatever attention she could get from Malaysia, she's getting it. Because for her, that's a way I'm communicating with my ex-friend. Whether it's good or bad, that's still some type of interaction with Malaysia. That's still some type of like, oh, we're talking. Even though it's an argument, but that's still an interaction with her. But I think they'll probably end up being friends again.
I think so too, because they were too tight. Yeah, they were really tight. So I do think, and I think it's so trivial. Like, that's something that could be easily worked out. Like, if it's something that's like crazy, like she's stealing her man, she did something crazy, like, but something like you got fired and, you know, especially if your mouth is big and, you know, I got kids, I got a family to take care of. Like, to me, that's, but I don't know. I hope it doesn't go too far from here, because the way that they reacting, it seems like they're about to fight and throw hands. Once you start throwing hands,
I don't know. Malaysia could throw down, so I don't know if Brandy. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. But once it gets to the point where you're throwing hands, it's like now we at a point of no return.
Yeah, they did throw a couple of hands at each other.
Yeah, so it's like once you get to that part, I don't know if we're gonna be able to forgive each other and move along. So I don't know. To me, it's just like Brandi needs to calm down. Like, you know, when thing, and even her going up to her when remember when they was in what was it, the bowling alley? It was a bowling alley they were in, right?
Bowling Alley, which episode is
I
that?
feel like it was a bowling alley this last episode. And remember, the guy that Malaysia brought with her, I think he's gay.
Oh no, it wasn't a bowling alley. It's when they were doing that date, the speed dating thing. It was like the dating.
Oh, that was all in the same place. It just seemed like
they brought Zell. He brought Zell.
Yeah, and then they were all saying. Remember when he said that Jennifer's breath stinks?
Oh my god, that was hilarious. I was dying. I wonder
if that was true or was he just being like?
I think it's true. I think her breath do stink. I mean, out of all the things he would say, why would he say that? And I think he had said it when Evelyn was on the show, and Evelyn kept laughing and made a comment. So no, I believe he was telling the truth. You got a lot of other stuff to say. So for the fact he said that, I think her breath probably does stink.
But I do think that bringing, whether Malaysia brought him or not to create stir drama, I just didn't like how Brandi was just so thirsty to get some attention when she's trying to address. She's addressing. It seemed like with the Erica situation and Sutton, like if I'm addressing one person in the gang, we're not speaking, and I'm addressing someone else in the group, like shut the F up because we're not speaking. Don't address me. I'm talking to this person. I'm trying to handle this right here. So that's what Malaysia was trying to do. She was trying to handle it with Jennifer. She was like, Jennifer, do you really think I brought him to stir up drama? Like I didn't bring him. I didn't do that. And then here come Brandi wanting attention. I hate that. It's annoying. Like leave me alone.
Well enough to know Malaysia was going to react to her comment. But Malaysia did bring Zell in to stir up trouble. You know he does things Jennifer's breath stink. And he's no longer getting along with Brandi. So why you bring him? And he's gay, even though he says he's bisexual. Why was he even there? Why?
I think as a friend, like how you would bring a friend to a function.
You know he's gonna stir up drama. That's what he does. So she can't say, "Oh, I brought him and I didn't know I was gonna stir up drama."
But I don't know. To me, it's like Jennifer. Like to me, it would be like, okay, maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate. Maybe he's thinking like, okay, that's just To me, I just feel like she's not a big factor. Like he can still go. And then it seemed like with Brandi, he was on speaking terms. Like Malaysia said, she's hitting him up. She's trying to, be, in communication with him. So they're good. The only person that could have brought a beef to the table was him and Jennifer. And it did happen. I forgot how it stirred up. Like how did they even interact to talk about the stinky breath?
Because you remember they were doing the dating, and he was sitting there kind of talking about to the women. And I think he says something, he apologized. Oh, you're still not talking to me because of what I said about your breath. It was kind of one of those things. I was like, oh God.
Like he's like, trying to like the passive aggressive tactic.
So that's where that came from. But Malaysia, no. And I've seen Zell from previous. I don't know if you've ever seen him like Love and Hip Hop. Was it Love and Hip Hop?
I've seen it, but I've never I always tune out when it's people like that. And it
was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So I've seen him in shows like that, and he is somebody who's very confrontational. He likes drama. So bringing him there, Malaysia knew he was going to stir up some pot. She probably didn't know it was going to be with Jennifer, but she knew that bringing Zell would probably going to tick Brandi off, because remember they wasn't really speaking. Brandi was sending messages to Zell, but it's appeared that Zell wasn't really responding to those messages. So I feel Malaysia brought Zell to the event in the hopes of he would start drama with Brandi, or Brandi would feel type of ways to get under Brandi's skin. It's kind of like, I don't like her. I ain't talking to her. I know she don't like him. Let's go. It's kind of one of those things. I know she was gonna feel.
I think it could be for that, and I also think it could be for protection, to feel secure, coming there, knowing how Brandi, to me, Brandi's vying for her attention and negative attention. So to me, I might bring somebody to keep you at bay, keep you in your effing place. I'm gonna bring Zell because I know this may keep you tame because now it's you against two of us. So I'm thinking like maybe she brought him for that. Like this is gonna, intimidate you a little bit to keep still and shut the F up.
Well, I think Malaysia could handle her own. I think she wanted Zell to stir up stuff because she was telling Zell all the stuff that Brandi was happening between her and Brandi.
Mm-hmm.
So he already went in there with feeling type of way, like, oh, really? That's what she's doing. So she brought him there, I think, to kind of get under Brandi's skin.
Mm-hmm.
But with talking about this, what Malaysia is the one that said why Brandi's upset with her because of the show. This is Malaysia who said that. Brandi never said it. We don't know if that's even the real reason because Malaysia's the one that said that. She might be under the impression that's why Brandi's not talking to her. But until Brandi says it or admits it or says something other than that, I don't know if that's really the reason why they're not talking. Because Brandi never said why. Malaysia said that, but Brandi never said anything.
I know, but they're not saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it does have something to do with that, where they're not going to bring it up. And I don't think Brandi's going to bring that up either, because it's kind of like embarrassing. Like, you got fired and you're blaming people for it. Because you want, like, so to me, I don't know if I would bring it up because it's kind of like too personal. Like, if I'm getting fired from my job, that in itself is embarrassing. But then I'm going to bring up that, I don't know. I can't see Brandi. Because that's why it seemed like it didn't come up from the beginning. I knew it was something that was like they was trying to have too much pride about. Like, I knew it was going to be something like that. Because it's like they kept talking about this father passing away, which I know that's a big deal. But we need to know what happened before the father passed away. Like, and that's why I'm like, they seem to keep it hidden. Like, and it seemed like Malaysia was still being protective of their friendship and not divulging why they really weren't speaking. And now it's like, I'm not keeping it a secret. I know you're not speaking to me because you think it was my fault.
Yeah, maybe that argument over.
And sometimes it's like that with friendships. It's like we stop speaking, you start acting funny to me. You really don't have a reason as to why. Like Malaysia might not even know. That might be her. Like, kind of like just.
That's what I'm saying. Malaysia's saying that, but is that really the reason Brandi's not talking to her?
Yeah, Brandi has to speak her piece to let us know.
Or was it a discussion they had before where Brandi was like, "Oh, look what you did! Da, da, da. I can't believe you didn't have my back." And then from then on, they stopped talking because then that's how you know. But I believe Malaysia.
Me too.
I believe her. That's the reason they stopped talking.
Absolutely.
Brandi says otherwise, because Brandi never really said why they stopped talking. Because when Malaysia was saying all this stuff, I think Brandi heard her. And I don't remember, like, bitch, that's not, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you because of this. I didn't hear Brandi jump in stating, well, no, this is not the truth. So I think that is why they're not speaking.
Yep, I agree. I definitely think so. We gotta wait. We gotta see if Brandi comes up with some like bullshit excuse and say as to why they're not speaking and say what her side is. So I'm guessing that's gonna come like next episode. Like, what is her reasoning? Is she gonna say
or it could be true. It could be like, yeah, I'm not talking to you because of that, because you didn't have my back. Maybe she might, step up and take accountability and say, yeah, I'm not talking to you because of that.
Yeah.
And if she does, and then I talk about because of that, they could get over that. I mean, 15 years of friendship? You're not talking because of that?
I don't know. Once somebody start throwing hands on me and start like physically harming me, the friendship is done. I've never experienced that with a friend, so I don't know. But it's on a show, so I don't know. Maybe that'll add a different dynamic if we're friends and then we start fighting for the show. Maybe I could forgive it because it's for the show and we trying to get paid. Yeah. So I don't know. But in real life, if I have a friend and we get into an argument and we start fighting, that's over for life. I'm never going to forgive that when somebody physically touches me.
That's true, but it looks like they both wanted to fight each other. It looked like they both were like trying to fight each other. I don't feel like it was just.
I think because Malaysia put her hand in her face and she was like, mind your bit, don't talk to me. And like she was like in her face like that, like don't talk to me.
Yeah,
and then that's when
Brandi stood up.
Yeah, but if somebody's in your face like that, I mean, I am gonna get up. Don't be putting your hand all up like that to me. Like it's
exactly. So I think they both were ready to fight, but they've been friends for a long time, and I saw how their friendship was in the past. So when I see that, they really had a good dynamic.
You're right. Like they definitely love each other.
I thought it was something more serious. Not that.
You know, it's a shame. Like friendships be breaking up over the stupidest stuff. Like it'd be like so. It's happened to me a few times in my life. Like it'd be the stupidest thing that break up decades friendships. So I can see that happening to me. I can absolutely see that. I think it's all about communication. Like if you feel that I didn't have your back, let's talk about it. Like don't start acting that. And that's my whole thing with any of my friendships in life. Not even friendships, relationships. Communication is key. If you think I did something wrong to you, can we discuss it? Because then I'm going to tell you why. Like why I didn't have your back. I got kids. Like my kids need some. I don't got a father for the kids. The father's not acting right. He ain't paying child support. I'm sorry about your issues, but that's separate from me feeding my kids. So to me, communication would kind of get over that hump. But then when you stop, you're not talking to me. You acting stink when I see you. Now it's like we coming to blows. So now it gets to a point where it's at a point of no return. And then now our friendship is broken up forever. And that's the story of friendship life.
Friendship, you know, you have certain friends and you don't really know their business because they keep it, you know, secret. So I don't know if Brandi really knew. I mean, as a parent, we watch TV. We kind of knew what the hell Malaysia was going through, but this is the first time I've seen Malaysia be so vulnerable and open into her life. Talk about depression, the baby father not doing this, and you can see she's financially struggling. They're not in a house, they're in an apartment, 2 bedrooms. She got 3 kids. So I don't know. There are some friends you could know for years, and they put up a front. I got this, I got money, I got this, I got that, but you're really struggling. So I don't know if Brandi knew about Malaysia's struggles, or she felt, please, Malaysia got it like that. We both don't need this show. I don't know. Because Malaysia didn't make it seem, I mean, she looked like she was living her best life too. She didn't make it seem like she was struggling financially all the other seasons. Well, not that particular season.
Yeah.
So you know, you never know. But we got to wait and see what happens with that story. How they get from wanting to kill each other, basically, and fight to becoming friends. And I don't even know if they're friends now. I don't follow either one of them on social media.
I don't either. I don't follow a lot of celebrities. I be feeling like it's too much stimulation. I don't want to have like too much where I'm like outside of the real life and focusing on other people's life. So I tend not to follow. Like I watch it on TV and I keep it there and like us talking about it, but I don't want to be too involved. Like, so I tend not to do it.
So we just got to wait and see what happens next episode.
Yes, we do. But I want to wrap this up. Basketball wives, comment down below. Tell us your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know your thoughts. Engage. Support the channel. It's new. So looking forward to engaging. And maybe we'll go live one day. You know, once we build up the audience. I want to go live. I like the live. Like the interaction and engagement of like the chat and stuff like that.
And answer some questions.
Yes. True. And then go back and forth, get other people's thoughts too. So that'll be interesting. So I'm looking forward to the channel being built up. And that's good for tonight. It was a good talk.
Bye.
Yes. Till next time.